on, Latin? I don't remember. Ah, there we go. Okay, cool. It's C7. Basically my daily, or was my daily for a while. So I'm gonna put some, I don't know yet. I'm gonna try to film this video and then I'll do some Q&A stuff. But what's up, Wayne? But I'm hoping to make 1,000 DI only, maybe a little bit more. So we'll see on E. Easy to do it on pump gas, but on ethanol it's not as easy. So we're gonna go ahead and get underway. For the people that wanted to see this, I figured why not? Give it a little closer view so you guys can see what the hell's going on. All right. All right. We'll start by pulling the rail lines off. Obviously the blower is gone, but all right, we're gonna go ahead and get these old injectors out, and that way we can get the new ones in. First thing first, get all of our lines loose. We have 17 millimeter, crack them loose. These are high pressure lines, so make sure that you don't have pressure in them. The car's been sitting for a little bit because the supercharger was getting done, so they obviously don't have pressure in them. And you are supposed to replace these, but you know, we don't always do what we're supposed to do, I guess. Wendy said I can blame her for everything being dirty since she drives the car and doesn't clean it. So that's what I'm going with. All right. So first thing first, go ahead and get your lines loose. Either your high pressure line, ball valve, so they seat. That's why you're supposed to replace them, because they're like a crimp fit. So go ahead and set this up here. We grab a 10 millimeter BRB. Always an adventure trying to find a 10, but I got it. So this is our line that links the two rails together. We are going to do the high pressure pump as well, but we're not going to do it right now because I want to test the injectors separate to see what they can do with a stock high side pump, and then we're going to put the Goliath pump on there and go a little stronger. But Wayne, since you're in here, I guess this is a good time to tell you you don't have an LT4 pump. So let me see if I can show you. Wayne, are you still here? If you are, you see how this is on the bottom and not in the middle? The pump you showed me was in the middle. This is the LT4. So you have an LT1 pump. That would explain the fuel issues. And this camera's getting cloudy. Boom. Let's see if you can do that. Can you see what I'm talking about? It'd be really cool if I could just put the phone here, huh? But I can't. Let me grab my other case. No, it won't work. Nope. All right. There we go. A little better. All right, so now that we got the lines off, we're gonna go ahead and remove. There's a couple 13 millimeter bolts that are holding the rails down. So we're gonna go ahead and pull those bolts out. No, Wayne, do not take the one from your Cadillac. All right. All right. We're gonna swivel. Boom. Swivel socket for the win. All right, there we go. Now, anybody that was curious about port injection, this is what the plates look like. So basically it's just a rail with your injectors into the rail with a fuel rail here. And the way that mine's set up is that the factory feed goes through the flex sensor, comes all the way into here, across it in the back, and then back out the front, straight into the pump. Some people say that that's an issue, but I mean, I've made 1280 with it like that, so I'm gonna have to assume it's not an issue for me. Not that that was a suggestion on what you should do, but just my opinion. All right, there's a few connectors back here. Make sure that you disconnect these as they're the main connectors for the fuel injection. So you got two little connectors here, and there's a main one on this side as well. Release the little red lock. Click it. There we go. That's loose. All right, so real important when you go to pull the fuel rails, if you don't pull this up evenly, you will bend the injectors, rendering them useless. If you bend the injector, it's ruined. Just throw it away. So I'm gonna try to remove it and show you the best way to do that. All right, I'm back. So I use a pry bar and something like an extension, and I'll put that up under the back, and I'll gently lift, and then I'll go to the middle spot, gently lift, back, and you just want to work it out, going a little bit at a time. Again, trying to not bend the injector. Probably be easier if I didn't have the port plates in the way, but you know, they're already here. So just work that rail out nice and slow, take your time, because if you bend it, it's ruined. I guess a bigger pry bar might have helped, but I didn't feel like looking forever. A lot of my tools have been moved already to the island, so let me get this plate out of the way. All right, I'm going to get a bigger pry bar. Okay, I'm back. Wayne, if it's off already, I mean, I guess that means you should do it. I mean, why not? But that also means that if they told you you had the LT4 injectors, or pump and injectors, chances are you probably don't have the injectors either. Food for thought. You know, I'm pretty sure there's a tool for this, but I haven't had an issue with these coming out, so just not having the right tools is kind of very inconvenient right now. And I just don't want to damage these. All right. Felt it give. Most of them give. Jeez, this one is stuck. There we go. All right. There we go. So this is what the LT4 injectors look like. Mine are obviously been in there for quite a while. And we got some gunk all up in this hole. For anybody that says that we don't drive this car and don't have miles on it, that's clearly not true. It's due for a good clean out. All right, I'm gonna get something to vacuum the holes out. If you have headphones on, cover your ears. All right, sorry about that. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and wipe this off and set this aside. I'm gonna go ahead and get the other rail out. So that's bank one. Go ahead and get this out of my way. Same thing as the other side. Just easily walk it out so you don't bend anything. Man, these things have been in here a minute. Maybe I should have took these out before I went live and just act like I was doing it again. Yes, that's my C7. This is my C7. This is the teal car with the pink on the back that you guys have seen online everywhere. Little rod and piston LT1. It's been doing a good job for a long time, so time for some upgrades. This is the point where you have to try to not get frustrated and break something. Because frustrated is what I am. All right. I'm sure somebody will be on there to tell me that, you know, there's a tool for that. But I ain't got it. There we go. Now we're cooking with Crisco. Slowly but surely. Sometimes you can spray a little bit of lubricant down in there. I chose to not do that because I didn't want to make a bigger mess. And I knew there was already a lot of oil and gunk and buildup in there. The back ones that seem to be really caught up. What's your opinion of stroking the LT platform? Like, I don't really like the stroked LTs. They, you know, they don't seem to like to be revved out very much, and I like to rev it out. No, I'm not going turbos yet. Stop it. We're gonna get there, but there's too many other things I want to test before we go to turbos. I know it's gonna sound bad, but turbos are like easy street, you know? It's not I don't know. I'd like to, I know there's more in this blower stuff, right? Like we're only at like 1150, right? Let's see what we can get out of it. Let's test some more products so you know, people can see what's good and what isn't. All right, got these out. Definitely some Earl down in there. Looked like it was about time we did something with these. Go ahead and get the vacuum back out. If you got headphones, cover your ears. the amount of belt pieces down in there is not very comforting. All right, curious on what those 51% overs can do. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna put the 51 overs in first without the pump and see what they'll do with the stock pump. And then we'll go back to the dyno the next day with the Goliath pump and see what more we can get. And again, our goal is to try to get about a little over 1,000 on DI only on ethanol. So, of course, at the end of the day, we're going to go ahead and turn the port back on and turn this thing all the way up. With the new Kong ported blower and everything, we should make, I'm shooting for 1,200 on blower. So, we'll see. It said it's made 1151 before, so any gains are good gains. And then we are still, I think we're still like 30 something subscribers away from mixed fuel testing. So you guys have a couple days left. If you get there, we're gonna do some cool stuff with some M1 and M5 and maybe a little bit of nitro just to kind of see what it does. We got some donations on the last live, so that helps with getting that fuel. So we're definitely gonna get it. I just don't know how much of it we're gonna post. That just depends on how many subscribers we get and the interest there. There's a lot of people want to do it, but we just got to see that. All right, just doing a little quick cleanup. And then we're gonna lay this towel back down. If I had a bunch of microfibers, I would use that to plug off these ports, but I don't. So in the meantime, I'll just go back through and check and make sure. Don't let anything go down in the ports. If it goes down in the ports and you don't check it because you're just lazy, you're gonna have a bad day. All right, we're gonna start with this bank. All right, so these have a pretty strong clip on them here, and that's what's holding the injector in. So we want to pop those clips loose. Like that. Yeah. Definitely need a deep clean under here. All right. Grab some pliers. You definitely don't want these snapping off and catching your finger. So I usually just grab them and rotate them up. Grab it and rotate it up. Oh, not far enough off. Up. All right. So as you can see, of you guys here, we got our electrical connection. So we'll go ahead and disconnect that. My fingernails aren't good enough for this. Boom. And come on. Got a little red detent. So you want to make sure you pop that red detent and then snap them off. All right, and then you should be able to slide the injector out. Uno, dos, tres, cuatro. Okay, make sure that we have all of the seals here. Make sure nothing got left in the rail. Looks good, looks good. What I'm going to do, I'm gonna go ahead and grab a marker and I'm gonna mark these because I'm gonna send them off for testing and just make sure every cylinder was good. Mostly because I'm just a data nerd. all of the spark plugs have always marked really well on this car. I've never had a concern, but again, if for some reason we want to sell these or let it, you know, send them to a buddy of mine or something like that, I'd like to know everything was 100%. There's 1, 3, 5, and 7. So I'm gonna go ahead and move these, put them off to the side. Alfredo, you the man. Definitely makes it worth it. I guess we're gonna go ahead and get that nitro, huh? I really appreciate that, Alfredo. Okay, so I know the unboxing video hasn't come out, I don't think yet, but something different with the Nostrum injectors that I saw, and typically they aren't on other injectors, is these injectors are bank specific, which means that this bank needs 4 of the injectors, this bank needs the other 4. And the reason for that is so they're the closest together in batching. So they batch all of these injectors and they get them as close as they can in percentage. And then the 4 go on this side are the closest and the 4 go on this side are the closest. That way when the fuel adjusts, it can adjust bank to bank and everything stays copacetic. So we're going to grab out all of my bank 1 injectors. All right, here we go. So let's pull them all out. And if you can see, bank 1 for you guys, see they say bank 1 on them. That's how you know. Which is a really cool thing because most people don't do that. The other cool thing was they include a new clip and new seals, and that's enough seals for 4 injectors. They include that in every single one of them. Like every injector. So there's 4 sets, a set for 4 injectors in every injector. They just make sure you got enough. And to top that off, they already have the seals on them. So we got seals on seals. If anybody needs seals, hit up your boy. All right, let's see. We got, oh, bank 2, bank 2, bank 1, bank 1. All right, let me put these back. I'm gonna get the other bank 2s, or other bank 1s. Okay, all 4 bank 1s. Bank 1 rail, bank 1 side, which means 1, 3, 5, 7 for you guys too. Go ahead and pull all these out. And for anybody that may just be checking in or just tuning in, this is these are the Nostrum Stage 2 51% over injectors. And if you've been watching and following along, you'd see that we made a little over 900 wheel on just 93 in meth, which meth taking up some of that fueling. We're doing this testing on E85, which is going to require a lot more fuel. That's why we're going with the much bigger injectors, and we want to try to replicate that plus some. So, see, we have good seals on everything. Let me go get some lubrication so we don't tear nothing. All right. Make sure that you lube up your seals so you don't tear any, especially the ones going into the cylinder head. If you tear those, it will leak compression, not just fuel, and you will have a bad day and make less power. And I mean, for me, less power is a really bad day. So if you see, there's this little notch here and the notch right here on the rail. I don't know if you guys can see that as well. You'll line that up with that right there. Give it a little pressure, slip it on in. Right. Slip it on in. All right. Anyways, all right, so lubricate. Locate your notch. Slip it on in. I think that's how we got all those kids. Sorry. Global Media. Delgado's a wealth of knowledge. We'll actually be going over there and doing a little bit of filming just to kind of show you guys the FTR stuff as well this week. I'm hoping we get 1 day of rain so we can talk them into launching the car in the rain on video, because a lot of people didn't see that video 100%, and you know, why not see what it can do again? Everybody likes to see traction control work in the rain. All right, so we got all of our injectors in, all of our bank ones. Just a quick verify. Bank one, bank one, bank one, bank one. Go ahead and get them connected up. All right. Now, they send us new clips, so we're gonna use new clips. Why not? That's a good point. Look, that's why we're doing lives right there. Red cam, you the man. I'm gonna fix that before I put this in. Yeah, done caught me slipping. He said, isn't bank one still in the windshield? 100%. We're doing bank two. Once again, thank you, Red Cam. You're the man. Now, would it have hurt anything? No. And I'm not justifying me being wrong, because I was wrong. Because they're batched together, so they're still on the common rail. The only reason that they're bank one and bank two is so they would all be on the same rail. But I'm going to change them anyways, because, you know, why not? All right, so what ECU are you running? Both port and direct. I run the factory ECU for the direct, and I run the 2 IPSI reflex for the port control, as well as nitrous control and trans control and boost control and all that good stuff. Okay. We're gonna undo these bank twos. Augustin Vlogs. All you gotta do is swing by, dude. I ain't nobody famous. I'll be at the dyno for Wednesday and Thursday. You can swing by there or hit me up, and you know, we'll be out on the street tuning cars all week, provided the rain is not there. So, like I said, all you gotta do is hit me up. You ain't gotta pay nothing. But if you want to donate to the chat, I won't be mad at you. All right, let's go ahead and swap these out. Ooh, sticky. All right, go ahead and lube them back up. Man, the actual long form video, we're gonna have to edit the crap out of it. Sorry, Wendy. 1 second. Good. All right, and we're back. So where we left off, now we are bank 2 rail, bank 2 on our injectors, 2222. Go ahead and get us plugged in. Make sure to hit your locks. All right. Okay, so we have all of our new clips, and we also have our dust seals here, which go right here. Just good to keep anything from traveling past and getting into the tip of the injector. Thick cap, because if you would have been done by now, you would have been over here helping, and you didn't. So personally prefer TSP. Just really liked it. Too bad GPI are not very common. GPI is pretty common. I don't know, but what do you prefer from Texas Speed? All right, so line up our notches, grab our clip, and push. And then you have to get pliers. There's like a little notch once you get here, so you give it a little tap. Or you can move them with the pliers. You hear that snap? Everything's locked in. The injector's locked in. We're good to go to the next. Just making sure we're good. There we go. It'll float above this sometimes, so you want to make sure that you get it snapped in very good and you hear it click and that we're flush up here, because that one looked like it was in, but it wasn't actually snapped. Not sure it could come out anyways, but it's always better to just do it the right way. with V6 past DI, misfires cylinder 2. We did a compression test, it was down 40 psi. That was like fine. You would usually, when these leak, you're usually going to hear it. It's a pretty, I'd say it's a pretty distinct loud noise. But there is also a lot of other things going on, so maybe not. But typically you can hear the compression bypassing. But a smoke test would tell you. All right, so now that we have all this, we have our seals. We're gonna go ahead and add some lube to this. These are your compression seals. Just wanna make sure everything goes in Nice and easy. You don't run it in dry. That's how you get divorced. Sorry. All right, let's go back in. And the same thing with when you pull them out, make sure that you go back in nice and straight. So the way I like to do that is go ahead and start your bolts. And some would say you can just run the bolts down. I don't like that method. So I'll just work the rail a little bit, tighten them, work the rail a little bit, tighten them, give them a little wiggle. Just very cautious because I've already damaged them before. Back in my heyday. You only got to mess it up once before you don't want to do it again. Walk it down. All right. Valve train is better from TSP. Here in Saudi Arabia, BTRs are everywhere, and they are all just junk. Honestly, I can't trust a brand that doesn't share their full specs. GPI has the best support. Can't really argue with it, I guess. I mean, I haven't had the best luck with TSP, but for several other reasons. What method do you like to unseat the rails? Usually, I give them a little soak before, but this was kind of a last-minute deal. I give them a little soak beforehand, and then I use a, it's called a lady finger. It's got like an indexable claw that I'll put under it, but I don't have it here. I've already shipped it to Puerto Rico. I'm gonna go ahead and grab a torque wrench and torque this down. Something I talked about earlier, but I don't know if you guys, I didn't tell you guys, but right here in the directions, it has the torque spec right here. So it says, as soon as you have completed 37, one rail, install the rail back into the cylinder head right away using a torque spec of 25 Newton meters. Repeat steps 37, 38 for the other rails. So I'm gonna go ahead and grab my torque wrench, set it to 25 Newton meters, and then torque these bolts down. Just for clarity, it says to pull the rails out by hand in the directions. I mean, you got some real strong hands. I couldn't do that. If anybody has suggestions for a better way, feel free to let me know and I'll add it to this. But as you saw, they didn't come out by hand. All right, got our torque wrench here. Gonna set it to 25 Newton meters. And for us Americans out there, that is 18.4 foot-pounds. So we will torque these bolts to 18.4 foot-pounds, as they stated in the document, because that's what you're supposed to do. Things have torque specs for a reason. And again, everything needs to go down evenly, so take your time. Isn't this fun? Any advice for someone who wants to begin tuning professionally? Yes, I mean, just make sure you're doing it for the right reason. I'll do some videos at some point on tuning and things like that, but I've really got to get a grasp of what people are looking for, because I'm not looking to teach. I'm just not good at teaching, right? There's plenty of schools for that, but getting your hands on a car is definitely the best way. Torque over time, I feel like you're testing me. You are absolutely supposed to replace the high pressure lines. You should replace the high pressure lines. In this demonstration, I'm not going to replace the high pressure lines. But you can rest assured that mine are not stock. They have been replaced at some point. And I understand that's not the right way to do it. So I'm not suggesting you don't replace them. Just, this is a figment of your imagination. And I always double check torque, just in case anything didn't seat or any issues like that. All right, we redo our connection in the back. Can't see anything. Make sure you clip the red latch and then reseat it on the mount clip that is supplied from GM, if you can. Okay, and then connect your high pressure pump. Do not forget to plug your pump back in. Yes, I've done that. Not a good day. All right, bank 2 is complete. Off to bank 1. Same thing. Let's get our clips off. Come on. Don't be like that. Flickster. Do I recommend doing a K-Tech oil pump when already getting dirty doing heads and cam? Okay, so that's a hard one. So if you have a wet sump car, yes, go ahead and do it because they have issues. I have a dry sump car, so I have a stock pump. I don't know if the K-Tech pump is significantly better or not. I've just always been a proponent of a good stock pump, and I haven't had a lot of issues with it. So that's what I run. I'm sorry I didn't really answer your question, but you should at least do another stock pump if you're going to do it. LAT rotating assembly on an LT4, LT1 block. Do you know anyone who has done it? Several people have done it. I don't know about the rods and pistons, but definitely the crank. They even put them in LSs. All right, go ahead and remove your clips. These clips, remove the electronic connectors. And man, GM makes these clips really hard. Try not to break them. This back one's already broken. Still works. Okay, good. And then unplug your injectors. These clips are really hard. I definitely don't want them injectors popping out. Okay. Go ahead and wipe this down a little bit, slide our injectors out. Give me a second and I'll go back to the questions. Boy, that one's in there. Isn't it funny when you watch these things on like a TV show or something? It always looks so simple. And then you actually do it, it's like, what the hell were they doing? I feel like they did the job first and then they redid it. Just so it looks cool. Because I look like a sissy right now. Alright. Let me grab my marker. Obviously the other ones are labeled wrong, so I'm gonna have to go relabel those. This is 1, 3, 5, 7. You'll just have to trust me that I labeled the other ones again after. If not, I will. All right. Oh man, my leg. Torque over time, you're not supposed to say that. You don't want people to do that. I'm at the shop with a dyno and they're putting me through classes, but it's hard to see how the classes get the conclusion. I mean, experience and time is definitely everything, you know. I talked about that several times. Each new platform, I usually spend a good year learning it before I even offer it to the public. Also, what are you doing? You're gonna compare, test Atlas sometime. I mean, I'm sure I'll run across the Atlas. I mean, I understand exactly how it's being used, whether they say that or not. I just don't agree with the method. And it's a personal opinion I'm allowed to have. So I'm sure I'll run across it. There's nothing to really test, it's just another controller. But, you know. All right, we got all of our bank 1 injectors back, already pre-lubed because of earlier. Go ahead and locate all of these and slide them back in. Go ahead and make my connections. Let me go. Put that back in. Make my connections here. Clip, clip, clip. And then the big metal clips. .416 or 400 every day, all day. It gives you the bore, but it doesn't have the piston coming out of the cylinder. It gives you the RPM. Just, again, that's my opinion. Everybody has different ways of doing things, but I just prefer that. Ah. I think that you and Go Hard got one of the last interviews with Danny from Lethal. Yeah, we did. And I was very grateful to be able to do that. Danny was fighting it the whole time, but I got him to sit down, and I was really happy with that. We cannot tune the trans for the C8. I completely understand you had decided my car will go to GPI for the BTR Stage 1 cam, have them spec and port the heads, and spin that stock blower hard on the reflex controller. I mean, that works. I mean, we've done it. We've gone extremely fast with the stock blower, and we've got something in the works to do it again on a different platform. So stay tuned for that one. Maybe right after Cadillac Attack. Maybe Global B. Who knows? All right. Next bank. Got to get that lube. Again, I don't know if there's like a special lube or grease for this. I didn't see anything in the paperwork. This is just a high pressure moly lube that I'm using. Seemed fitting. I'll go ahead and put my dust seals on, which just scraped my lube off. Real smart. Moss lube. All right. Between LME or Frankenstein heads, which would you recommend? These are LME heads. I've also been fast with Frankenstein heads, so it's really hard to say. I don't have anything educated testing between the two for me to be able to honestly say which one. Ever mess with putting a wastegate boost control setup on a Pro Trader? Yes, I've done wastegates. Recently I did it with Smooth Boost, the electronic throttle body, and it was very, very nice. Very fast, very accurate. So either way, you know, controlling the boost on a Pro Charger so you can spin that charger a lot harder is a damn good way to do it. Taking notes off of Bounty Hunter's car minus the Prey part. Nothing against Prey. Yeah, we've been dealing with Brett for a long time. Brett's a good guy. He's got a lot of good information. I know he rubs a lot of people wrong, but so do I. I don't do it on purpose. It just kind of comes with the territory. And when you don't like a lot of BS, you know, and you don't let people get away with shit, they tend to not like you as much. I'm okay with that. All right, we'll put our rail back in. We're gonna go and do the same thing. We're gonna tighten these bolts by hand and just slowly pressure rail back down in. Give everything a little wiggle. Make sure that everything's going in nice and smooth, and then we'll torque it down to secure it. I've allowed you ask the questions and you get shit on for asking the questions. Yeah, that happens. It's funny how that works though, because when you ask the questions and they get offended instead of just answering your question, kind of makes you think, doesn't it? Instead of just answering you and being like, hey, you know, this is what we think and this is why we did what we did. Instead you get, oh, you're stupid, you don't know what you're doing. Like, probably not the case. But you know, everybody will believe whatever they want to believe. I mean, if you think you can make cars fast without knowing what you're doing, that's cool too. I guess some people do it, but not that fast. Probably shouldn't do that with a precision instrument, right? All right, so everybody should be able to do this now, right? Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Everybody buying injectors tomorrow. Imagine if we can make 1100 DI only. I think if I could do 1100 DI only, I would definitely run it DI only just to see what it runs. We still may do it at 1000, but Gotta hear what you guys want, because that's what matters. Guys, girls, same thing. You know what I'm saying. Not the same thing. You get it. All right, let's see. Da-da-da. Everything is a hammer. Absolutely. Especially when all your hammers are 2,000 miles away. Pretty dumb question, but what length push rod would I need? Looking at getting a cam kit from BTR, I don't know if for the push rod stuff you need to measure it. Like I don't just trust any push rod anymore. I measure everything. I'm just way too picky. I torque everything and I measure everything. 1100 Di, it would be crazy. I drove that the pump gas car I did on that made 902 or 925 when we splashed a little bit of C16 in it, and boy, that thing was just violent. It was so impressively violent. All right, torquey torque. Put it on the right way. 25 Newton meters. Make sure everything's drawn down properly. All right. And my torque wrench turned off. There we go. When you're torquing things, you always want to try to get it in the first stroke if you can. That way it doesn't false torque the next time. Not always possible, but just something to think about. And then double check our torque. All right. Now we'll pick up our blankie. I like to wipe off the threads just to make sure there's nothing on them. And just imagine these are new, right? Right, everybody? These are new. You pop the ball sockets in there so everything's nice and wiggly. Start your threading. Start your threading. And I usually give it a little wiggle to make sure everything gets nice and snug. My other new line that I just unboxed, you guys just didn't see that, because you're supposed to do that. Same thing, get it run up. And then give it a little wiggle, make sure everything's seated first. That way you don't over torque it for no reason. And there is a torque spec for the lines. I just don't have a way to torque spec it. Yes, I torque everything. Always torque everything. All right, so with these, the best way I've found was to give them like a little push till they get snug. You know, reasonable force, nothing crazy. And then just like another, like that, just cinch down. And that's it. That's how you install Nostrum Stage 2 injectors. That's when the blower gets here tomorrow, I'll go ahead and video that We're gonna go ahead and get the blower put back on and head to the dyno on Wednesday. So we'll start some tree tuning. I'll put some videos of that out while we're kind of getting everything dialed in, getting it ready. And then when we hit the dyno Wednesday, we'll push it as hard as we can on these injectors with the factory pump, with the port injection disabled. It will be turned off. We're gonna get that as far as we can on E65. Then we're gonna go back the next day and we're gonna swap this pump for the K10 Goliath pump. And we're gonna go back with the E65 and push it hard and see what we can make totally. Then we'll bring it up to E85 and we'll see what it makes on E85. Then we're gonna go ahead and put the port back on. So we have the new injectors from Nostrum. The new pump will be from K-Tech, and then the blower ported from Kong, which I'm expecting pretty big gains from all of that. Again, the car previously made 1151, so let's hope for at least 1200, maybe a little bit more. And then, you know, if we get this thing to 1300 subscribers before, I'll spray it on the dyno too. But you better say a prayer for that crank, because it is a stock LT1 crank. Let me go ahead and stop these cameras and then I'll come back to you guys. All right, this may be the actual video for, because this camera with that hard drive decided to stop on me. This stuff's hard. Harder than I think it is. This filming everything. And then filming my life is super weird. All right, gonna be in Puerto Rico with the family in a couple months. Anything you'd recommend checking out besides the beach? Me, call me. We'll go, we'll take the man cave garage, see the ZR1s, and maybe hit Salinas, go to the track. But the rainforest is really cool. I mean, there's really everything out there is pretty cool. They have all kinds of different beach, desert, anything you could think of. Rubber ring or Teflon tape on the lines? No, I don't think I would do that there. Over 3,000 PSI. What's your plan if the motor goes? Why are we talking about that? Why would you even say that? Why would you put that on here? Did you do anything to tank pump? As in like the factory fuel pumps? Is that what you're talking about? And why would you say if the motor goes? Jeez. It's like you're putting that negative energy out there. I don't like that. We don't think like that. We think it's been doing great. It's going to keep doing great. Greater. Making race cars great again. I don't know what you're asking, Nazam. What on the intake pump? It's got a factory intake pump with an auxiliary pump that is run by the reflex controller with booster pumps as well. Not a suggestion, just what I'm doing right now. We are working with SMG Speed to come up with a dual aux pump that will be controlled with reflex, Holly, whatever port controller of your choice. That's the plan, Wayne. That's the plan. So anybody that hasn't seen it, this is the dirt box. It's been sitting for a little bit just because we've been busy with the move. It does have the 10 rib 2 PSI setup on it. I don't know if I can flip this camera. Hold on. Yep. Boom. All right. Yeah, it has the 10 rib 2 PSI setup on it, the billet thermostat, but it is just a rod and piston LT1. It has ported heads on it. I don't know if you can see that really well. There we go. I think they were done by LME. I know I say think, but I don't know, but that's because I bought them already done. And yes, factory fuel line through a flex sensor to the rail. It works. Don't judge me. But anybody that hasn't seen the car, back up. This is it. And we are gonna go with the 18, but Wayne is gonna bring some 15s. This car's never ran on 15s. It's been, I believe, 850 or 840 on the 18s already. So hopefully 15 will go a little faster. have the what you should do and what's on my car. Yeah, exactly, Buggy. That's the whole thing. You know, we built this car as a proof of concept, basically saying, hey, if you were on a budget, what would you do, right? You'd buy a Z51 because it comes with the good suspension, it comes with the good diff, it comes with all that stuff. And then do rods and pistons. 2650, we just got a good deal on it. I like the stock blower too. We did a drum in the trans. The trans is now built, but it was not built for the longest time. We built it just because we wanted to test some stuff with Circle D, and they handled the build on it for us. Just gonna copy your build. Anything I should know? Just ask, man. Anybody that wants to copy this car, you've seen what this car has done. It's a mid 3-second 60 to 130 car on blower. It's been faster with a 125 shot, I think is what we have in it. It's been a little faster with that on it. I mean, it's a mid 8-second car. You can drive it. We're gonna drive it 1,000 miles to Orlando and back. You know, it's a proven deal, right? And it's a budget build, but it has been out there fucking people up. It's been doing really well. And if you ask me, I'll tell you. You book a consultation, I'll literally give you the part numbers. I don't care. You can buy the tune out of the car if you want. You know, pay the tune fee. I'll send you the exact tune if that's what you want. Wayne, I'd like to put skinnies. The problem is narrow fenders here, they don't work. I can't find any wheels that fit. The only wheels that I've found that actually fit this car to where it sits decent is these Race Stars, and they don't even make those anymore. Very, very depressing for us skinny body guys. What would it do with twins? Really, really, really fast. It will get twins eventually, but I'm not done with the blower. I'm not done with getting everything efficiently out of this setup. Once I get all the efficiency out of this setup, then I'll go twin turbos. But I want to I think we've got a lot more. I think we've got a really low 8 on blower with this, how it is, without making it a high dollar build. To copy your build, I have a 6th gen. You can do the same thing in a 6th gen. Everything I've been looking at, it's looking like 30 grand with engine work. Is that about right? When I quoted it through a shop, like to get all of this done, if I was to do everything exactly how this is to a T, it was around 60 with labor, 60, 65 with labor. So I don't remember how much of that was labor though. I had to do the ACS rear wide body on my Poverty C7. I didn't want to do it again because budget, right? It's all about how much it's going to cost, and at that point, that's too much. The rough estimate on the SMG 2 IPSI, it's not a 2 IPSI SMG aux pump. It just happens to hook to the reflex. But with the dual pumps, the solid state, everything, I think they're looking at a retail price of about $1,500, which I think is a killer deal. And for those that were curious, let's see if I can grab my key. I think the battery's dead. Pretty sure it's dead. I'll open it this way. And this is in case we need it, but I'm out. But it is a full interior car for all those that, it's even got this little cover. Extra belt in the back, some grass, even an extra cover here. Yes, that's wood down there to hold the bottle because I don't like things flying. But let me open it up. It is a full weight 3LT, heated and cooled seats. All the good peeling dash as they usually have. But this one, surprisingly, kind of annoying. This has a carbon dash factory. Why did GM put a carbon dash factory in the Stingray, but not every Z06? Every Z06 should have a carbon dash. I mean, I don't understand that. But Stingray, I mean, I'm grateful. Don't get me wrong. It looks sick. But yeah, this is full weight everything, even the dirt and the coolant. And obviously I was testing some stuff, but even all the nice Alcantara, I just dirtied it up. Wendy's gonna be pissed. All right, gonna make some steam with the new Kong. Yeah. Oh, I don't know where I was at. Sorry, guys. What size aux pump do I have? It's an AEM 400 with a booster pump. Don't suggest it, but that's what I have. I'm going to go to the SMG dual pump when it's done. Then I'll have that wired to the Reflex with a pressure sensor. That way it'll use closed loop fuel pressure control. Manual trans, I mean, yeah, they're good. I've seen people go pretty fast with those. So, I mean, I think it's all in the setup. One of the fastest C7s I've ever run across was, man, I'm blanking on the name. He's from out here in Houston. He's got a white one. It's from AMP. MBK, that's it, yeah. MBK, he's got a manual car, and man, that car put up a fight. I won, but I think it was pretty much what or what. I mean, whoever got the jump was gonna win that race. When will the SMG be available? If you look on their stuff, it's already, I think he's already prototyped it. He should be available soon. I think he's waiting to speak with Mike at 2iPSI to integrate it there. So stay with that again. And if you do decide to go buy it, if you use the code Justin White, one word, Justin White, at checkout, you'll get a discount as well. So I've been 9.5 with the M7. You just got to work harder. I think it's going to be the launch. The launch has got to be everything. Luckily, we have converters, so it's not as hard for us. But, oh man. We got a spider growing in here. We're going to have to clean this thing out. Fun fact. At LS Fest, I had a black widow crawl out of my helmet. And I almost decided to total the car. I should have just set it on fire. So hopefully there's no more. All right, well, hopefully you guys learned something from this. I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it up. This is how you do the injectors. Hopefully I have some of the video there, but you know, we'll do our other live. We're gonna do our other live on Wednesday, so it'll be Wednesday night, same time, 7 p.m. Central, 8 p.m. Eastern. You get it. Anyways, so tune in. Thank you guys again, and hope it went well.